Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Pewag Snocks self-tensioning snow tire chains here on our 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. So if you guys are looking for a nice lightweight, kind of light duty application to go ahead and throw on your tires, the Pewag here can be a decent set of chains. Now, personally, they're not my favorite. I think you're gonna be better served going to something like the Konig XG12s or something in that kind of area. The one thing about this, it's a little hard to throw on. What they're great for, if you just want something to go ahead, throw on before you leave your house, and that way you do have some chainage on your vehicle for the whole day. That's what these are great for. If you do find yourself in the muck and mire, they're gonna be kind of a pain to get on, so that's something I don't recommend. Now, they're not gonna be the worst to kind of pull over the side of the road and get on by any means, but do kind of take it from the horse's mouth here that it's not my favorite one to get on, but it still does a great job. As you guys are seeing on here, we do have our square linkage, of course. And these guys are actually a pretty sizable size, pretty standard, I would say. Nothing too crazy here, which, like I said, is gonna be for your more, not severe light duty, but just your occasional snow and ice on the ground. Now, if you're looking for something really crazy, such as like a twisted link or V-bar support, those are gonna be more excellent if you do find yourself with a lot of heavy snow and ice fall and really having to get through the weather. I would recommend looking at those guys. But what's great about these, they're gonna stay nice and low profile for ourselves, not gonna be really kind of impacting our drive too much, which is excellent, as we also do have a diamond style pattern here on here, which is going to go ahead and make sure we have constant coverage of our chain. And you start comparing this to like a ladder style chain, what that really gives you is good start and stop maneuverability, really excellent for a lot of road driving. But this is great because we're not going to be losing our turning radius. We don't have to overcome those hills and valleys as we make our lefts and our rights, which is excellent. Now, we also are going to have it here on our rear wheel here today, but keep in mind, your Ford Bronco Sports are going to be an all-wheel drive vehicle, and they're going to have those ESP monitors and sensors on there. And as our vehicle's owner's manual guide tells us, we do want to go ahead and throw tire chains on all 4 of our tires. So keep that in mind. Almost any chain you guys are going to have, probably going to have to get 2 sets of 2 to go ahead and make sure that we are appropriately putting them on our vehicle, and that way we have no issue with any kind of our drivetrain or anything like that, and that's just going to make it really easy to throw on. You are also going to have a manganese nickel steel alloy. What becomes excellent about that, going to be really resistant to a lot of the stuff you're going to find on the road, whether of course that just be your normal weather or all that salt and chemicals you might be throwing on there. Now, one thing I will say, if you guys want this to last for the years to come, a little maintenance goes a long way. Trying to get those hazardous chemicals and materials off your chain is very, very helpful, especially as you go ahead and store this for those summer times. And a little bit of oil and grease can go a long way of making sure that your chains are staying in working order for the years to come. Now, like I said, you are going to have just a little bit more effort on this installation than you might see from some of the other chains out there. So let's go ahead and see how we can get it on. All right, everybody, to begin your installation, what you want to do is simply take your chain just like so. Let's go ahead and look for the hard points of contact here on our chain. As you guys can see, this is our soft side. On the other side, you can see where we've been bent over. Now, it is very well recessed here. I don't think we're going to have really any issues with that making contact with our wheel, but we still want to put this on correctly. So let's make sure we have that facing us, as we are going to be setting this on our tire. But all we need to do is simply go ahead, bring ourselves to this first position here. You guys can see when it comes out of the box, we'll have these nice little tags to help you indicate where you want to go first. We just simply need to make sure that our green car is showing and we're nice and locked in. That's really easy just to do by sliding your cam into position here. And later, to dismount it, all that does is simply press in, it'll slide, and all we have to do, get it locked in. There we go, ready to rock and roll. So let's take our positioner here, and we're simply going to take it, try to avoid slamming our chains into our rims, and start placing this on the back of our tire. Now, as you get it to the back here, you can take 2 of your hands, and you can see I can pull that wire apart as I go. That can be helpful to start getting this seated at the very beginning. And we're just going to keep this process going. And yeah, you just kind of want to fit it all the way. Obviously, as we start getting towards the bottom here, we're not going to be able to get it all the way quite on there. And we are going to be rolling our vehicle forward. Of course, let's make sure those are hard points of contact are being flipped out to the other side, and that'll prevent us from having too many fitment issues as well. And you can simply just kind of push these guys and start getting them set on your tire. Takes a little bit more work than I'll say a lot of the other ones do out there. And that's why these guys are really excellent to throw on before you find yourself in a sticky situation somewhere, as they are just a little bit more challenging to get on, in my opinion, than some of your more traditional chains. But now that we're approaching the end here, we just want to go ahead, check our fitment around our wheel. This can take you guys just a few minutes at home to make sure you're nice and well set. But now we simply need to go ahead and roll backwards or forwards to actually get this bottom set on here. So my top chain's sitting pretty well. Things we want to look for, these guys, we want to make sure they're kind of in the center of our tread of our tire as much as we can, and that'll kind of help align our inner circle here to be where we want it. So let's go ahead, hop in the vehicle, and roll it just a little bit. So now we simply need to roll back a little bit until we've gotten it in the right position, and we can seat it on the rest of the tire. So just a few little tips and tricks. One thing I recommend, as you guys are seated on here, you might see it looks a little bit more cleaned up now. All we really did in the back here, you do have that bungee cord that we were having our kind of structure that allows us to go around our tire. If you need a little slack, come right back to that main housing again right here, guys, and pull on that bungee a little bit. Start reseating your chain and get it appropriately set on your tire. Now, one thing to keep in mind with this though, it is self-tensioning, so all we really need to do now is drive around a little bit, make sure we're seating it correctly. Like I said, I would probably roll this forward. That's gonna allow me to take this top chain here and get it correctly set. But otherwise, guys, I think we're doing a great job of making sure that our chains are nice and installed. Well, as you guys saw, that installation can take just a little bit of work, but once you really get your mind to it, I think you guys can use it for a while. It's probably gonna be just easier and easier every time, which is nice. But overall, not too bad of an installation. I definitely have seen worse out there. You also do have this nice little traveling case, which is excellent. I really like this guy. A, it's got kind of nice style, which is great, but B, it's gonna do a great job of making sure that we're not kind of tarnishing the inside of our Bronco Sport, which is excellent. Comes really easy to carry your stuff. It does have some included plastic matting as well to go ahead and throw on the ground, which can be nice to keep that wet and that slop off of you. But yeah, just a nice little traveling case to go ahead and hold on there. Definitely is going to be holding up for a while too though. It's got a nice support. Sometimes you're just canvas that you know is going to rip in no time soon. This is not that. It's actually pretty high quality, which is very nice to see. But overall, guys, like I said, I think this is going to be a great way if you just want something to throw on in the morning when you know you're going to have a little bit of ice and snow on the way to work or something like that. Again, in terms of keeping this inside your vehicle for all times, I think there are better options out there. I just don't like how if I was stuck somewhere, it'd be really hard for me to get this on and then move my vehicle and get it properly set. I just think in that regards, it definitely kind of starts lacking a little bit when you start comparing it to others. But I'll leave that up to you guys. Otherwise, I think that about does it for our look here at the Pewag Snox Pro self-tensioning snow tire chains here on our 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.